This is the tiny 4x4 camper Americans were not allowed to have. A kitchen, a toilet, and 2 beds inside a tiny body. For nearly 30 years, you could not buy one. Until now. Let's take a look.
Motorhome luxury.
Park this camper next to a Ford F-150, and the pickup is the bigger vehicle. That is the first thing you have to get your head around. 16 feet long, about 6 feet 2 wide, and just over 9 feet tall in 4-wheel drive form, a complete motorhome, with a kitchen, a toilet, and 2 beds, taking up less road than the truck your neighbor uses to tow his boat. From the front, it makes no attempt to be pretty. A broad windshield, square headlights, amber corner lamps, and a thin black bumper. The face of a working truck, because that is exactly what is underneath. Then look above the cab, where the fiberglass swells into a rounded sleeping section. That shape is not styling. It is hiding the single cleverest thing on this camper, and we will get to it inside. Under the floor sits a Mitsubishi Delica truck chassis, with a turbo diesel inline-4 of 2.5 liters and a 5-speed manual. Next to that shifter is a second, shorter lever, and that one is the interesting part. It selects rear-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive high, or 4-wheel drive low range, in a motorhome. Now the number that scares everyone, around 84 horsepower, pushing an entire house. You are not winning anything on the highway, but that was never the point. Short wheelbase, narrow body, low range, this is the camper that keeps going up the rutted forest track where the big rig has to turn around at the trailhead. A 2-wheel drive automatic existed too. Walk down the driver's side and the coach becomes a service wall. Near the rear, a large exterior hatch opens into the toilet room. The cassette tank slides out from one side, while the open bay beside it gives you some storage. Above that hatch, the round cap is the fill point for the service water tank, which holds about 8 gallons. Farther forward, a low molded hatch reaches the house battery and wiring, with a little extra room for tools. Everything you need to fill water, empty waste, or check the battery stays outside and away from the living area. At the back, the nearly vertical wall carries a window, ladder, and often a folding bicycle or cargo rack. The ladder reaches the roof without consuming sidewall space, while a low rear hatch stores hoses and campsite gear. These racks aren't universal though, so the rear may look different from one camper to the next. A reversing camera is a worthwhile update because the coach is wider than the cab and the rear wall extends beyond your mirrors. Near the rear, the shore power connection was designed for Japan's 100-volt system. That 100-volt inlet is another visible clue that this camper was never designed around an American campground. Up top, 2 small corner skylights pour daylight around the cab over bed, and a powered center vent releases cooking heat. Some campers can also carry an antenna, roof box, or solar panels, but there is a big emphasis on "can", as those are later additions and not something the campervan comes with. The rounded fiberglass profile and tucked-in hardware keep the body compact and less slab-sided than most truck campers from the same era. Finish at the back of the passenger side, where a fitting connects the original exterior shower hose and an appliance vent releases heat from the rear cabinet. The diesel filler stays accessible below the coach, and a roll-out awning shades the entry on equipped campers. Look at the right-hand drive wheel, Japanese badging, and 100-volt shore inlet. They reveal the first answer about why Americans didn't get this camper. Vantec designed this camper for Japan, so Vantec and Mitsubishi both didn't offer it through American dealerships. Basically, Americans had no new one to buy. Now you might be wondering, why could you not simply import one yourself? There is a legal reason, and we will come back to it near the end. But first, let's step inside. This tiny shell somehow opens into a 4-person living space. But how long can its small water supply keep everyone off-grid? Climb through the narrow entry, and your first step drops into a molded well that keeps muddy shoes below the carpeted floor. The dinette is immediately visible, and its nearest bench gives you somewhere to sit while removing boots. The aisle leads forward to the cab, with the galley beside you and the toilet only a few steps behind. Useful hardware surrounds the area. The main coach power controls, warm air outlets, and small storage pockets sit within reach of the door. The original Webasto heater burns diesel rather than relying on the cooking gas, so you can warm the living space without carrying a large propane cylinder. Every wall is working, and the aisle stays narrow because this entire home is scarcely wider than a full-size pickup. So, what was hiding inside that large section above the cab? Look forward and the biggest surprise is hanging above the windshield. Pull the bedboard outward and the sleeping platform expands to roughly 6 feet 3 long and 5 feet 11 wide. When you aren't sleeping, the front board retracts and the mattress sections stack, reopening headroom and the passage toward the cab. Side windows, the 2 roof corner skylights and a privacy curtain prevent it from feeling like a dark shelf. Insect screens and nightshades let you ventilate it without surrendering privacy. Small ledges and cabinets keep glasses, phones, and clothing nearby, although adding modern USB outlets is one update most owners will want. Return to the center and the facing dinette becomes the daytime living room. You get upright seat backs, a removable pedestal table, and enough window area to make the tiny shell feel wider. The tabletop also becomes part of the bed support, so it must be cleared and lowered before the cushions move into place. The finished second bed measures about 5 feet 11 by 4 feet 3. That gives 2 adults the cab-over bed, and 2 more the dinette, while claims of a 5th sleeper are best reserved for a child. 4 rear lap belts can provide 6 travel positions, including the cab, but this is 1990s restraint hardware, not a modern family car safety system. Storage is spread around the furniture. Shallow lockers run above the dinette, cubbies wrap around the cab-over bed, and the galley cabinets hold cookware and food. The bench bases add more room, although the 8-gallon service water tank fills one of them. Soft bags fit these shallow spaces better than hard suitcases. Now turn to the kitchen. How do you cook in something this small without giving up the only living space? Beside the dinette, the galley compresses the essentials into one counter. A stainless sink sits next to a 2-burner cooktop with a window and powered roof vent handling steam and cooking heat. Prep space is limited, so the dinette table becomes the natural place to set ingredients before dinner. Below and beside the counter, shelves and cupboards hold cookware and food. Open the galley cabinet and you find a removable container for drinking water, which lifts out for filling and cleaning. Lift the 3rd dinette seat, and an 8-gallon service tank feeds the sink and exterior shower through a pump. So, how long can you really stay off-grid? For 2 careful travelers, the 8-gallon service tank can cover several days of light washing, while drinking water capacity depends on the removable container you carry. For a full wash, connect the shower hose outside. At the rear corner, a narrow door opens to the toilet room. The cassette toilet stays inside for use but slides out through the exterior hatch for emptying, so waste never crosses the dinette. Shelves turn the room into extra storage between stops, while a roof vent helps clear odors and moisture. The original layout uses this room for the toilet and storage, with showering handled by the exterior hose. Continue across the rear, and the refrigerator finally appears beside its own window, with storage cabinets built above and around it. The unit is a fridge of about 2 cubic feet. Its 3-way controls let you cool from gas while camped, 12-volt power while driving, or shore power when a hookup is available. The nearby window opens for airflow and includes the same insect screen and shade used elsewhere in the coach. Power comes from a separate house battery charged by the engine while driving and by the external hookup at camp. It runs the lights, pump, roof vent, and heater controls without draining the starting battery. Because the refrigerator can use gas when parked, it does not have to consume house battery power all night. The original setup doesn't have any large lithium bank or factory solar array though, so any surviving camper's off-grid electrical range depends heavily on upgrades made over the years. Now, move through the open passage into the cab and the age becomes impossible to hide. You sit on the right, work a tall manual shifter with one hand, and use a second lever for the transfer case. The dashboard is simple. Visibility through the upright windshield is excellent, and the short wheelbase makes parking surprisingly easy. You can return to the house without stepping into bad weather, although the extended cab-over bed reduces the opening above you. Highway climbs are the compromise. With less than 90 horsepower pushing a complete motorhome, you plan passes and accept downshifts. The reward is that a campsite with 2 beds, heat, cooking, water, and a toilet occupies about the same footprint as a modern crew cab pickup. So, why couldn't Americans simply import one? The JB470 was never legally certified to American emissions or safety standards, so an ordinary private buyer could not permanently import one while it was still under 25 years old. The Environmental Protection Agency's exemption applied after 21 years with the original engine, which a 1997 model reached in 2018, The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration exemption followed after 25 years, which it reached in 2022. That is why these campers can finally be imported today, although registration requirements still vary by state. Before you buy one, though, make one careful inspection checklist to avoid any headaches. Check the import paperwork first. Then inspect the frame for rust, the coach for water damage, and the roof seals and rack mounts for leaks. You should also test the shore power connection, gas system, batteries, wiring, water pump, hoses, tanks, refrigerator, and heater. Age is the biggest drawback. Every JB470 is nearly 3 decades old, parts can be difficult to find, and its right-hand drive cab and modest cruising speed require some adjustment. Now for the price. Expect to budget roughly $30,000 in today's American market. Thoroughly refurbished or heavily upgraded campers can push past $35,000, while rust, water intrusion, tired appliances, and incomplete import paperwork pull neglected examples lower. That is serious money for a vehicle from 1997, but you are buying an old commercial truck and a fiberglass motorhome in one very unusual package. So, was America really never meant to have it? Let us know in the comments. Want to see what happens when the same go-anywhere idea gets an apocalypse-sized budget and is designed to survive the end of the world instead? If so, click on it, and we will see you soon at a new luxury motorhome.